Hello everyone, it's Cepheus here giving you another game of Starbow. Starbow, the wonderful StarCraft 2 mod which I always cast. I kind of said that I'm giving a game of Starbow in a way that it sounds like I'm doing this now instead of what I usually did, but it's just this. So in the bottom right corner on Circuit Breaker, a great map that we'll talk about more in a second, we have from the clan we have Capri. That's a great clan tag right there. I think it's an acronym, oddly enough, for best friends. I've seen a lot of other Starbow players starting to be a part of this clan now, especially higher level ladder Starbow players. I've seen Wonkman and Nap and maybe Osiris, I think, has put this clan tag on. And they're talking about stuff. So, in the top left corner, we have, in the blue colors, rsvp playing Protoss. He is former gamer of Team Complexity, and he's almost becoming a Starbow veteran, if that's even a term now. Starbow, of course, there are real Starbow veterans out there, people who played Starbow for actually several years. I'm one of those, but they're not necessarily that good, they're just passionate. But since the boom of January, we have someone who's been sticking around since January. We have a lot. We actually have most of our current Starbow ladder pool players have discovered Starbow after the boom of January. So that's actually interesting. And it's important to remember that your bones shall adorn the halls of the bestest friends. Oh, it's the bestest friends. That's the clan thing. Ah, so the bestest friends, they will suck out the bones of all the opponents they beat and they will hang them on the wall. We have rsvp going for a very standard opening. We have Capri not going for a CC first. I've seen a lot of Terrans go... Well, Terrans used to go CC first. I think that might have been due to Hyder. Hyder is a Starbow veteran, a real Starbow veteran. And he's also a very macro-oriented player. And his rule of thumb when it comes to playing a game is usually, what can I get away with? So he loved going CC first whenever he could. And although it has a good economic setup, it doesn't actually, might not lead you into a good mid game. So, oh, I like what Capri did. They actually started his refinery a little bit early, just so rsvp couldn't snipe it. And then he just continued it later on. There are only one gas per base in Starbow, so getting your refinery sniped can be a little bit annoying to deal with, to say the least. This game was from something called Fatal's weekly tournaments, which he does every Thursday. If you go to starbowmod.com, there's a thread about it there. He usually gets about 8 to 10 players, I mean 6 to 10 players. And so yeah, they're about every Thursday. They're, unfortunately for me, they're in the really in the middle of the night. Like, they start like midnight for me local time, and then they go on to like 3 in the morning or something, 4 in the morning. So I usually don't get to catch them live, but I saw some of the footage and I saw some of this game and I was like, this game is awesome, I'm gonna cast that. So that's why I'm doing that. This tournament, this was from the 4th Ladder Cup tournament, and this one had incredibly amount of interesting games. There was so many good interesting games in this. So I might cast a couple of others. There was one Nap playing versus Capri, I think, as well, which was really interesting. This is actually the first game of the final. The final was only best of 3, but all the other games were best of 3 as well. So there's a lot of good content out there from that tournament. We have Dragoons killing off SCVs. We have the I can't talk today. Singularity charge, which means that these Dragoons will outrange this bunker, and he goes right at it as soon as he can. But since he didn't go for CC first, this is going to be very short-lived harass compared to if he had gone for a CC first. See, this is the problem with going CC first versus Protoss, is that you can get a bunker up, you can get Marines up, but it takes forever to get that first siege tank. This siege tank is actually quite slow, though, I feel. But thinking about that, he didn't go CC first, but you know, getting that CC after barracks will slow down the factory quite a bit. So he's gonna pull off a lot of SCVs. You usually want the same number of SCVs as the number of Dragoons plus 1, unless you get a ridiculous number of Dragoons, then you might have like plus 2. That's like the rule of thumb when it comes to how many SCVs you need to repair the bunker. So he has 5 versus 3, so he's just fine. I think he could have had enough with 4. He's actually putting 1 in the bunker, which I think is a slight mistake. Here comes the siege tank. Ooh, and he's got to be careful. He's bringing out the Marine 2 as a meat shield, but look at that range on those Dragoons, man. If you see something weird, it's because the Dragoons are turning around now. The Dragoons now have a facing direction. Not something we wanted, but something that was kind of inevitable to make them work with the new pathing system. Or else the Dragoons would just clump up incredibly, and that just messes with everything when it comes balance-wise, because Dragoons are not supposed to deal a very compact DPS, if that makes any sense. Compact DPS is actually quite an important part of the game that you don't think too much about. This is probably just a term I just made up right now, but you know, that's one of the reasons Marines in StarCraft 2 are so good. It's not because they're so strong, and it's not even because they steal so much DPS. It's because you can put them so tightly together when they deal their DPS. So you have a lot of DPS per square inch or per pixel, or however you want to measure distance on a StarCraft 2 map. And Dragoons in StarCraft 1 Brood War did not have a very high damage per pixel because they always spread out so much. And so if we didn't add pathing to the Dragoons, that would kind of mess up balance actually. It would make it a lot easier to have a big group of Dragoons pick off siege tanks than it was in Brood War. And since we're so reliant on a lot of Brood War balance, we can't really mess up with these things too much. We have a nice little scout here. He's going to make sure he doesn't get a third base anytime soon. In the meantime, rsvp actually has his third base up already. He has not opted to go for his Stargate route that he's so famous for, but he's going for a more upgrade heavy route with more standard play. He's not gonna... just very, very standard. That's all I can say about this. Like, early Robo, early Observer, sell a charge, get the Forge, get the upgrades. He's gonna skimp on army to get a bigger army later, and since his opponent went very early command center, he's gonna be safe. There's gonna be a 4 racks... No, it's not. You have a 2 base 4 racks... 4 factory push that's very strong in Starbow. You can use the overcharge, and you have reactored factories to just churn out masses of vultures. It's actually so ridiculous that some of the Starbow developers are thinking about nerfing overcharge, or nerfing something, or doing something with it, because you can get so many vultures, or so many marines, for example, so fast with reactor plus overcharge. It might be broken. We'll see though. But he's not opting for that. He's going for three factories and a third base instead. So he's thinking more ahead. He doesn't want to do a 2 base. I wouldn't say it's an all-in with the 4 factories, but it's definitely a commitment. Let's put it that way. You do delay your third base for quite a bit when you do that push, but it's very difficult to hold off. But he got such an early third base, and he's kind of and he's adding so many more gateways. Now he's kind of set himself up for holding that kind of push, I think, or just barely holding it though. He's gonna salvage the bunker, and he's just actually gonna just poke. Oh, I like this. He's not pushing. He's just extending his defense line so he can much more easily defend this base. He's going for the same third as well. Keep in mind that the third base... Ooh, finding the vultures there. Keep in mind that the third base on this map is a mineral only. So it's great for adding those minerals, but not for that gas. So I think it's better for Protoss than Terran in this situation, because Terran can, get more vultures, but Protoss can get more zealots, and I don't know. Zealots are more part of the backbone of the army than I think vultures are. Vultures are more for harassment, but of course vultures are an incredible important part of the mech army. But the backbone of the mech army is this guy right here, and he's doing some damage too, hitting even. He's got a missed chance to hit there, but he did hit. Good for him. Nice aiming there, siege tank. When we see rsvp we see rsvp taking a 4th base, we also hear the voice of the commentator crack up quite a bit. And that does happen from time to time, despite of his old age. I'm actually 28. I had to think there for a second. I'm not thinking because I make it up. I'm thinking because I never really think too much about my age, that's all. No, I'm actually 28. I sound like I'm 16 probably. Yeah, something like that. I also look like I'm 16. I'm actually a math teacher, and the first year I was teaching math, like a couple of weeks after I started teaching at the school, there was a rumor, this is at high school by the way, there was a rumor that went around that one of the students had gotten a key to all the classrooms and was opening up classrooms for students. Yeah. Say no more. We got rsvp moving back with some Dragoons. I was gonna say moving out, but he did move out. He's moving back, and he's trying to pick up this. He doesn't really like vultures at all. Like, there's one vulture left somewhere. Let's bring all my Dragoons and find it. I want the vultures dead. Oh, but he didn't see this one. The moment he knows about this one, he's gonna send his whole army to get it. I think, yes, I remember this moment where they're trying to, well, when they try to attack up here, there's there's a reason they derp when they try to attack on an unpathable area of a cliff. But this derp is incredible. And they're really loving Arcturus Minx here. Look at that. My minions. Wrong race though. Okay, so we have nice little observer placements here. We got more vultures trying to move up, but these dragoons are being very active when they're not derping, and are blah 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 are trying to pick off the vultures. We see also that Spider-Mans do not go off on Dark Templars in this mod. There was a good reason for it. Oh, he's trying to sneak out the Dark Templar, but he couldn't, and here's even a missile turret here. So even if we've gotten past that scan, didn't really matter that much. So Capri has a really solid position here now. I don't think they could try and rsvp could try and go around here, but yeah, I think he might be doing that too. No, but he has a War Prism. Good thing has here. Oh, that's a nice War Prism. With some DTs and some cells, it's gonna kill supply depots. No, okay, thank goodness. He's gonna actually go and kill some SCVs. Man, I'm glad I got that. I would never got that if I hadn't looked at rsvp's vision. I'm such a good observer. So we got... I should have split up the Dark Templars though. But he's actually not focusing down the Dark Templars. Do we have a 12-second scan? Is it going to be enough? It is. That was kind of anticlimactic. So we have the War Prism here again. Does he have... Yes, getting... That's what I thought. He's getting Warp Gate. I like this. Because he doesn't need to get the War Prism to get more units now. He can just get Warp Gate tech and he can start warping in units here instead. Warping in units in Starbow takes forever though. It takes like 10 or 12 seconds or something. So you have a lot of time to detect it and kill it off compared to... Brood War. And that's why warping in units defensively is not that good either, because the vultures just kill the unit as it's warping in quite easily. As they just kill off some zealots right there. More units coming out. We're gonna have a 5th base for rsvp down here, which is nice because it's gas, and it was one of the few places that wasn't blocked off. Sorry, I'm missing this. Wasn't blocked off by a spider mine. That's a lot of vultures from Capri. Capri is going incredibly vulture heavy. He likes his vultures quite a bit. Just a couple of siege tanks and tons of vultures. I feel I'm watching fantasy play. And the Zealot comes in first, soaks up a lot of spider mines, and actually rsvp might just clean this up. We've got a ton of more vultures incoming, streaming in from every which way. If he could have gotten the vultures coming from the other angle and gotten some surrounds, that would have been interesting. But 6 storms from rsvp, cleaning up the siege tanks, cleaning up another siege tank, and he might have to pull back just because the sheer number of units that Capri has here. But man, oh, and here's the sandwich, but that's not a sandwich, that's a misrally, and oh, loses 3 siege tanks, and you don't want to do that. He only has 9 siege tanks, actually. Wow, that was a really good engagement from rsvp, I would say. He's not going to break it, but he did kill a lot of units, and there we go, that's what I was talking about, the warp in, but he could detect it in time. Sorry, I missed that. I'm not going to rewind for that. Whew. Oh, wow, that siege tank's range is incredible. So cleaning up some spider mines, losing some dragoons, it's all good. And he's going to put up some more spider mines again. Yeah, that was kind of wasted of dragoons. But here we have more units from rsvp. The tails of the zealots are quite... Well, it's not... The ponytails, I guess. Zealots, the only StarCraft 2 unit, or Starbow unit for that matter, with a ponytail. That's probably not really here. It's probably something else. Probably some Protoss material. I don't know what Protoss is doing. There we go. We have the warp in there. Okay, so you got a warp in. You got a Dark Templar snuck in here. There's no workers there. I guess he saw the Dark Templar warp in. He could try and snipe the... Oh, that's the wrong scan. Oh, he's gonna kill a siege tank. That's nice. He got a siege tank for a Dark Templar. That's always good. Oh, he's gonna get another one. Okay, that's really good. 2 siege tanks for a Dark Templar. Wow, I'm glad I got that too. I'm on top of my observing today, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, lady and gentlemen, probably. Maybe lady. If my wife ever chooses to watch this, which I think she doesn't. So we have Capri. He's gonna move out. I think, yes, it seems so. He's gonna reposition himself at least. He's spread very thin. That's the thing about this map, Circuit Breaker, is that you have to spread yourself very thin as a Terran player to defend multiple locations. That vulture just moonwalked. That was incredible. We got moonwalking vultures in, like, you know, you don't even have vultures in StarCraft 2. You might have vultures in Brood War though, but are they moonwalking? I don't think so. Or spinning 360s like that? Man, these vultures are awesome. They're like, these are the happiest vultures ever. We don't have the guy that's so mad in the vulture. Remember that guy from Brood War? Yeah! Oh, I can't even do his voice. I should never try and do a voice again ever in my life, but yeah. The guy with the attitude, man. So we got banking going on here. Capri, this is the problem with Capri. Okay, so he's getting this space. That's another mineral only though. Like that's why he's getting so many vultures. He doesn't have any gas. He's really gas starved this game. I like how rsvp is just avoiding the main army of Capri and just trying to attack at different locations that Capri hasn't defended as well. This is just so many vultures though. Like he has so many vultures. He can just go and kill the main army of rsvp with just pure vulture. Oh, that's a lot of siege tanks too. And in the meantime, then he can try and attack over here, which he is because Capri moved so many units back. So rsvp really making the right moves here, but he just doesn't have the army to do it. Like, oh, it's gonna try and warp in some more units. I was gonna see how many kills does that warp prism have, but that's the dumbest sentence I've ever said. So Capri now is going to come back, and Capri, you know, really showing some skill here. He's playing versus rsvp. rsvp has been playing really solid, but Capri's macro has just been impeccable. And I like this base from rsvp, sneaking in wherever he can. Not sure how he cleared that mine off, if there even was a mine there. Can these siege tanks reach the next? One of them can if he scans. Ooh, that spider mine animation. I love it when it chased down a unit. Like, it looks so much like Brood War. And that is, unfortunately, there's crater there that kind of, yeah, got that one stuck. But this base is done and dead. And he could, I feel he could stop this with some zealots. But he's just going to counterattack. You just avoid the army of your opponent. That's the motto of rsvp for this game. And you've probably seen in the production tab for a while that what I haven't seen, and that, ooh, oh, that's so important. Why has Capri made all this Goliath? Yeah, that's because he scanned that there's carriers incoming. And why were those storms so important? Because there's carriers incoming, and you want to kill all the Goliaths with your ground units before the carriers get out. And those are some really, really hurt Goliaths, which means that these carriers, which are now finally killing off the siege tanks. I can't believe I didn't get the carriers. Sorry about that. These carriers are going to be much more effective versus these Goliath army, but this is not enough carriers. This is only 3 carriers. Where's the rest of the carriers? Are there any more? There's 5 carriers. Okay, there's 2 more over there. Ooh, he's got to move away with the carriers because this is a lot of Goliaths. This is, yeah, that's 3 carriers do not deal with this number of Goliaths, even if they're as damaged as they are. If you can could get like a couple more storms, that would have been incredible. Ooh, these probes are not very glad in their life, which is a very weird way of saying anything. We have more, yes, good, we have more high temp with storm. So if he can like force all the Goliaths into choke to attack the carriers and then storm them, that would be incredibly good. But I like this carrier play from rsvp. Oh no, actually he's not paying attention, it seems. Okay, there we go. So he doesn't want to lose all his interceptors here. So Capri is actually pushing out. He wants to make sure he can take the carrier battle here. So if he loses, he can build up a lot of more Goliaths back here. And in the meantime, he's taking bases everywhere. And I think this is really good because now Terran is actually the mobile one. And rsvp is the immobile one, which is a completely role reversal. I can't speak. Because carriers are so immobile units. They're so slow. But now here we go. He's going to try and pick up 1 carrier. He's going to get 1 carrier. Yes, he is. But he's not going to get any more, I think. And the Zealots come in to try and clean up the Goliaths. And that's a very good call from rsvp because they have lost all support. Only a small group of siege tanks left here. And Capri hopefully has another army in his base. And he does. And that's quite a big one, too. And he's not committed to just making Goliaths, which I think is a wise choice. Because rsvp could very easily at any time just warp in a ton of other units. And I think they're... No, well, he can warp in 3 and he can... Well, he warps them in from R anyway. But Capri has found this base, and it's Capri's turn to try to avoid rsvp's army now and go for expansions instead, because he doesn't want to fight carriers straight on. He wants to just try and cripple rsvp's economy. So that was a little bit of an interesting role reversal in the middle of the game there. We have a lot of Goliaths here, but we also have a lot of carriers, but I feel the carriers need support of the ground army to able to deal with this, or else the Goliath's going to pick up too many carriers. They picked off 3 carriers already, and here comes the ground army, but now Capri is sending in his support as well. So rsvp are just taking some losses here, I feel, and he's gonna lose all the carriers. This is huge. rsvp with a great engagement, I mean Capri with a great engagement there, and cleaning up the brute force of rsvp, who's kind of just sitting back here licking his wounds now. He's gonna lose his Fulton cannon, and this base was actually left untouched because he turned around and killed the carriers instead, which was of course a good call. Still very few Goliaths though, and he is keeping up with the carrier production. 4 at a time. He doesn't have anyone out at the moment. But in the meantime, rsvp's economy is going to be in shambles. But in the meantime as well, wow, meanwhile, RCP has found both of the bases that Capri tried to set up, and he's going to shut those down as well. So they're both at each other's throat, shutting down expansions left and right. And the only difference here, though, is that Capri has a big army. Ooh, nice storm there, actually. Trying to warp in some Dark Templars, and if he can get them out in time, and if he can split them up a little bit, that might just be what he needs. Okay, scan goes down. He needs to get the Dark Templars out of the scan. He's discovering it a little bit too late, and he's losing all of them. That's too bad. So, oh, and this base is gonna, yeah, I knew that. I just have a short-term memory. So if we look at the income tab now, yes, Capri is definitely ahead now, but we're gonna have harassment on this side of the map as well. He has some, yeah, he has units here to deal with this, I feel now. I feel Capri can deal with this harassment, and he's actually needed the workers here, so not the biggest of deals. This space, though, if this space goes out for RCP, this is actually the last mining base of RCP. And he really doesn't have the economy to support a lot more carriers right now. And I feel RCP is just kind of falling in shambles. He's going to try and get one more Dark Templar in there. But there is a missile turret up. And he needs to stop the missile turret before he gets up. Can he do it? He cannot. And it's going to get up. And bam. Oh, but okay, he actually got the missile turret. Not really sure how that happened. It looks like the missile turret just bowed down under pressure right there. But we have... Okay, so these carriers will clean this up now. There's no more Goliaths out there. He has stopped Goliath production pretty much. I think he thought that he'd kill, that RCP was not gonna continue to stick with carriers, but RCP has, but he's losing some very important dragoons in the middle of the map, and this is so important for RCP to keep these units alive because of his low economy compared to his opponent. But he actually did manage to force this lift up, and it hasn't landed again. He's landed here, he's landed here, he's trying to churn out some units. Ooh, we got a nice warp prism here. That warp prism can become very important because there are still a couple of warp gates that could potentially warp in some Dark Templars and some harassment units here. Once RSVP has the economy to do so, we have again 5 carriers out. 5 is a good number, but it's not the magic number. Like 7 or 8, that's when Goliaths start to become very difficult or ineffective, unless they get him like in the middle of the open and a good surround. When you have that many carriers, it's difficult. On the other hand, unfortunately, no, why is he moving that away? He had a perfect opportunity to... What's he doing with the warp prism? Why is he going into the main base? I guess he wants to stick on top of the production. In the meantime, the Vulture's coming in, killing so many probes. Man, the number of probes that has been killed in this game. And if we look at the units, he only has 7 probes left. RSVP is just falling apart. He's going to sneak in a Dark Templar, which is a good move. Hopefully, he should have done the same here before he left. That could have done a tremendous amount of damage. Or maybe not. And he's gonna go for something. I'm not sure what he's gonna go for from this point. He's gonna go for the orbital? Yeah, okay, so he's gonna go for the orbital. If he can kill enough orbitals, and he has enough Dark Templars, I'm just saying, I don't think that's a valid strategy though, but here we go, he's gonna have another Dark Templar here. So that's good, it's kind of what I suggested. It didn't work so well, so don't listen to my suggestions. So we got more Goliaths out now, but it's still not enough to deal with all these carriers, I feel. So I think this push... He should be able to take this push with just the carriers. And I got one more on the way. If he can just churn that one out, having one more carrier is quite good. Going from 5 to 6 carriers is 6 starts to become that magic number. It was 6 carriers, I think, was the magic number in Brood War, but carriers are not as good in StarCraft 2 as they were in Brood War. But here we go, man, and these carriers are just wrecking it. No way Capri can push this. He's slowly trying to get some more probes. He's got one more since last time. This carrier right here, this is the last of RSVP's resources. These carriers has to do a tremendous amount of damage for him to win this game. Capri got this base up, this base is mining, he could get this base up quite easily. I feel the Dark Templars are still roaming the map, but he can't really make any more Dark Templars either. He just has to spend all his minerals right now on probes for a long time until he can get his normal economy up, and even when he does, he's only mining off of one base that's almost mined out. So he really has to, and he's killing a lot of units here though. A lot of siege tanks and vultures has gone down. He's going to sneak out some vultures. These vultures are probably going to go and harass some more workers again. And Capri, putting up the emergency missile turret, sees that all these carriers are incoming. He's making a ton of more Goliaths. He's getting level 3 ship and vehicle plating. Ooh, nice micro of that carrier. You can't really carry a micro the same way as you can in Brood War. We really hope Blizzard fixes that. But he's going to try and repair as much as he can here, and you know, he is losing interceptors, which is actually quite important at this point because he has so little eco. And the defense, the carrier defense from RSVP, very good. But yeah, you see, like, this guy has only 2 interceptors, and he's at 7 minerals. So these interceptors are actually quite limited. So every time he loses an interceptor here, that's actually an interceptor that's going to take a while to reproduce. He actually has a lot of minerals to reproduce all his interceptors. And you see, every time he gets 25 minerals, he drops down again to 0. But he has successfully... Oh, wow. 21 kills on that Dark Templar. Wow. He has successfully shut down Capri's economy completely as well. Wow. This RCP is kind of hanging in here still. He's somehow... Okay, there we go. Kills that Dark Templar. But this is the one he should be killing. Capri says, I'm not taking this anymore. I'm just going to go and kill this guy. Like, he shouldn't be winning this game. But he's losing. Look at the income tab. rsvp has a higher income tab than Capri does now. This is crazy. With 3 workers. Such a low income. And he's going to lose the carrier. That's so important. That carrier should have been with the rest of the carriers. But that's the way it is. So the carriers are coming home as quickly as they possibly can to defend versus this. I don't know if 5 carriers is enough, though. And he's going to lose. So now they're down to very equal income. No, actually Capri got his income going. Oh, he snuck this base up. And he's going to get this base up. And he's going to get another base over here. Okay, if Capri can just get this done, he's going to win this game. Like, rsvp has nothing. He doesn't have enough minerals to make another Nexus. You never do when you have carriers, because you have to remake your interceptors. And this is not the best place to engage for the carriers. They should have been like over here by the cliff and stuff. But he's going to... Oh, is he going to lose this one? Is he going to lose this one? No, nice micro there. So he really should go and clean up the army, or maybe just try... Oh, wow. So he's splitting up the carriers, trying to... Okay, yes, he's been scouting with a probe, and he sees all these expansions coming out. And he's in peril, and he needs to clean up these expansions before Capri can get his economy up. But what rsvp doesn't know is this base, and this is where Capri actually gets his money from. So... he can deal with these bases fine, but Capri's still gonna get income here, and he can still start to make some Goliath production. Oh, this Goliath has an unfortunate spawn blight. And in the meantime, though, Capri can just start picking off rsvp's base, and the carriers are busy killing off all the orbitals of Capri, so he can't really defend versus this. Such a crazy game. So rsvp's carriers are finally heading over here. It's going to try and pick off... Okay, so yeah, we got the carriers... Oh, sorry, I missed this. The carriers going over here to kill this base. There's too many bases to kill. And we only have 2 interceptors for this. That's not right. That's not 2 interceptors. That's 4. What's going on here? Whatever. We have a number of interceptors. Oh, he can make 2 more, I think. No, he's got 8 in total. He's got 5 of 8. Why does the 2... Oh, it's the air upgrade. He has 2 upgrades. That's what it is, I think. Yeah, it says 2 on this one too. Yeah, it says 2 on all of them. Sorry, I was wrong. Okay, we see how many they have here. So he has 7 and he has 5 and stuff like that. Oh, a couple of Goliaths. Does he see the carriers? He doesn't see the carriers. Those are some stealthy carriers right here. Oh, but he did pick a carrier off in the middle of the map there, and that's actually quite important. That was the one who was chugging away at this orbital. He actually held off this units here. I think that was some carrier did that. There's not that much going on at the same time, but at the same time there's a lot of stuff going on at the same time, so I'm kind of missing it here. But is he gonna be able to kill the Goliaths? Come on, Goliath versus carrier. Who will win? It's gonna be the carrier, I think. But that carrier is gonna be a very low health. Capital ship versus mechanical unit. There we go. And okay, so okay, but now see, this is the thing. Capri has too many orbital commands for rsvp to handle. He cannot handle all these orbital commands at the same time. He can start harassing one, and then he just lands another one at another location, and then he moves all his workers over there, and he keeps going like that. And he has a very weird and somewhat steady income that way, and he can keep a couple of Goliaths producing at the time. And now, yeah, he's got enough Goliaths to do this. GG. Capri taking down rsvp in what I would call an upset, but Capri showing some really solid play here, and very interesting game to catch. Sorry if I missed half of it, but hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to play a lot of Starbow on starbowmod.com, and of course Starbow in the arcade. Take care.